Hi everyone, welcome back to Country Gals Homestead. I'm glad you tuned into the channel today. Welcome if it's your first time here. Today I decided to make some cowboy candy. I walked out to the garden and seen that I had a lot of peppers, jalapeno peppers that needed to be processed, just something done with. So I ended up picking about probably 25 off 3 plants, which they were all loaded. So I brought them in and I said, I need to make some cowboy candy with these. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to give you the ingredients. First off, you're going to need about, I think I got about 20 to 25 peppers. And then I'll have 6 cups of white sugar. A tablespoon of minced garlic. I just had some fresh garlic, so I just minced it up about a tablespoon. And you're going to have a half of a teaspoon of turmeric. I can't get that right. Okay. And a half a teaspoon of celery seed. 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Okay, and that's all of your ingredients. Okay, anytime that you're handling any kind of hot peppers, I hope everyone knows to do this. You need to wear some gloves because they're hot, and sometimes the heat don't kick in until later on in the day. I've had that happen before, and that's not fun. And also, just wash your hands. I always wash my gloves off after I handle, if I'm going to keep my gloves on, I always wash my gloves off after I handle hot peppers. I have transferred hot peppers to the refrigerator door while opening it to get a drink or something. I forgot that I had my gloves on, and the pepper was on the gloves, and that's not fun. So especially for someone else coming in, open up the refrigerator door, yeah, they're not going to have a very good time with their hands burning. So yeah, wear gloves. Okay, so you're going to want to cut the stems off of your peppers, and you can cut the ends off. If you want to, you can put the ends in with your peppers. It's just more. You're just going to have more, and you're going to want to slice them about 1/8 of an inch. You can go 1/4 of an inch, but 1/8 of an inch is in between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. So slice all those peppers up. I've got most of mine already sliced to try to kind of hurry things a little bit, so I won't be using up all my storage on my phone. I need to get me a SD card. I don't have an SD card. So yeah, go ahead and cut those up. Okay. I went out there this morning and I couldn't believe that the weather was so nice for the middle of August in North Mississippi. It was about 70 degrees, 70, 75 degrees. There was like a nice little breeze, hardly any humidity. It was just so beautiful. So I took that time to kind of water. I watered a few flowers and stuff like that this morning. Yeah, and that's when I noticed my peppers. I was like, oh, I need to do something with those peppers. So here I am doing something with these peppers. So yeah, so that's just we've had a lot of people says how hot it's been this year, but I think last year was hotter. It seems like to me. Because 75 degrees, and I'm not sure what the high is supposed to be today, but I was out and about a little bit ago, and it said 83, and that was pretty good. So, and like I said, very low humidity. So okay, so here's my peppers. Look how many peppers I got. It's a lot off of 3 plants. So there's those, and whew, they're strong. Okay, I got my minced garlic here. And we're going to use a half a teaspoon of celery seed. And we're going to use a half a teaspoon of turmeric. Okay. All right, that jig's old, I know. Okay, so here we go. All right. And 2 cups of apple cider vinegar right here. Okay, I'm going to put that in my pot. And I'm having to do this kind of awkwardly because of the lighting. There's my apple cider vinegar. And I'm going to 6 cups of white sugar. That's a lot of sugar. And then my other ingredients. My garlic and turmeric and celery seed. Okay? Okay, I'm going to take this over to the stove and we're going to bring that to a rolling boil. And then when it comes to a rolling boil, we're going to turn it down to a simmer and we're going to simmer it for 5 minutes. Okay, turn that on. Let me give it a stir. No, I don't de-seed my peppers because Cowboy Candy is supposed to be spicy, and this is a very spicy dish, and it's good on burgers, and seems like men love it. They love it on the burgers and stuff like that, but it's good. So we're going to let that get up to boil and turn it down, simmer for 5 minutes. After we do that step, we're going to add our peppers, and we're going to simmer the peppers for 5 minutes. They'll get kind of cooked a little bit. That's how, I mean, you want them to be cooked a little bit so they don't kind of float up in your jar. Okay. And I have the jars going. I have them in the canner. They're sterile. Getting that all done. And I use half pint jelly jars is what I use for this, because I just don't like using a whole pint. It's just kind of too much. But I mean, you can if you need to, but I like using the jelly jars. Okay, so I'm going to see how this is. So that's just going to take a minute to get up to boil. Other than the weather being nice and everything, I'm going to do a video probably on my cushaw. I do have 3. One of them's not very big. One of them's pretty big, and then I have one that's a little bit smaller than the biggest one. So I'm going to do a video on processing those. This is my first year growing these squash, and it's been fun. I've only gotten 3 so far for the year. I think I planted 3 seeds, and now 3 seeds. I did get 3 vines, but they don't have a lot of blooms. They don't have a lot of blooms or squash on them, on each vine. I'm noticing either that, or they might not be getting enough sun, which I don't think that's the problem. But as big as they get, my biggest one is like that big so far. And they're pretty, I mean, so if I get 3, that'll be fine with me, because that's going to be a lot of processing just by itself. Because just one is going to be, it's going to take up a lot of canning space and jars and everything. But so anyway, okay, so, and you know, I always give my little stems and stuff, my scraps to my chickens. Yeah, I have chickens and quail, and that's going to be on another video when I do another video one day that I'll take y'all out and show y'all my chickens and my quail, and it's been fun so far. I have 5 new hens that just started laying, and I have 3 barred rocks, and actually they're called rustic rocks, but they are in the barred rock family. And then I have 2 leghorns, and I just love them. I mean, the little leghorns, they just started laying, like I said, and one of them I call Snow White, and she has a big comb that kind of floops over, and she's so cute. And the other one I call Pearl. And believe it or not, these little eggs, we crack them open, and they're laying double yolkers, and just kind of surprising. So they're only 4 months old, and they started laying already. So let me go ahead and see if this is getting up to boil, so we can turn it down for simmer. Yeah, it's starting to. Smells good. Smells really good. I was trying to do another video, and it just kind of went to heck, sort of. But I didn't let that get me down, and I was like, you know what? I'm still going to make a video. I'm hard-headed like that. When something doesn't work out, I'm going to make it work out somehow or another. So I want to get this video in. I just wanted to do another food video, because I enjoy it and it's fun. I like doing it, and I like teaching. I have had a lot of friends and family say, "Oh, we want to learn how to do it," and and I don't have time to go here and there and everywhere. Excuse me. I live way out in the country, so most of my people are probably an hour and a half away from me, so it's kind of hectic to get, to travel a lot. And my thing is, I love staying home. I love staying home doing things like this. I just think it's amazing. I love it, and I love teaching. But with me doing my videos and everything, it's like I'm sharing my knowledge, and I want the younger generation to pick this up, because it's kind of a lost art, and food preservation is fun. I love it. And I mean, I didn't think it was fun back when I used to watch my grandma do it. I was like, oh, this house is hot all the time. But when I started doing it, it just became a passion, and I want to share my passion with y'all. So let's do it. Yeah, this looks like it's getting ready. Okay. All right, we're going to turn this down. We're going to let this simmer for 5 minutes. Okay. We'll let our brine simmer for 5 minutes. And I repeat everything. So I also checked on my mystery squash out there a while ago when I was out there. It's this big. And I'm not positive that it's a spaghetti squash. I'm leaning more towards that it's a pumpkin because it's starting to turn orange. And how in the world a pumpkin got out there in my garden, I'll never know because I have not planted any pumpkins. I actually planted one pumpkin. I think it was last year. I did plant a pumpkin, but it was too late in the year. I didn't have enough days to harvest it, but I just went ahead and did it anyway. The squash vine borers got to it, and it just died. It never produced any pumpkins. There was no pumpkin seeds. Nothing. I never planted any in the garden. So if this turns out to be a pumpkin, I have no idea how it got there. So, but I do know that birds carry seeds and they drop seeds so that will probably be the only possible way that it got out there, because I did have some decorative pumpkins that I just let rot, and it's possible that they got into those pumpkins and they got carried to the garden. That's the only other explanation I have for it being a pumpkin. So let's just wait and see how it turns out. It's really funny because things just start growing up around here, and I'm like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? It's really neat. But okay, now we got about 3 minutes to let that simmer, and then we're going to put our peppers in. And then we're going to let it bring it back up to a boil, and then we're going to turn it down to let them simmer for 5 minutes. And then we're going to put them in the jars. I'm going to get the jars out here shortly, and we'll start putting the peppers in the jars after they've simmered for 5 minutes in the brine. And then we're going to let the brine go back up to a rapid boil. And after the brine goes back up to a rapid boil, then we'll start ladling it into the jars of peppers. Okay, so we got 2 more minutes. But no, I've been trying to make a video since yesterday morning, and my original video was about something completely different. But I still plan on getting that video in soon. I'll still, I don't give up easy. So I'm going to get that video in. And then I'll have another video coming up. I want to make some red pepper jelly. People love that stuff on cream cheese and crackers. It's delicious. What I really love about doing this is I don't have to buy these peppers. I can grow them, and that just makes everything even that much more special. So, okay, we're getting there. Got about 1 more minute, and then we'll pour these peppers over into the brine. And in the while the peppers are in the brine simmering, I will start taking the jars out, because you want your jars to be hot. You want everything to be hot. Another way you can keep your jars hot is in the oven. I prefer to put mine in the canner, because to me it's just much easier just getting them out of the water, pouring the water out. Got to be really careful about that, pouring the hot water out. And to me it's just more convenient than getting in the oven and getting them all out. And sometimes they fall over and stuff, and it's just an inconvenience. Okay, here we go. We're fixing to put these over here in the brine. Okay. All right. Turn that back up. Let's get those, bring it back up to a boil, and then you'll bring that back up to a boil, And then once you bring it back up to a boil, a rolling boil, you will turn it down, back down to simmer. Let it simmer 5 minutes. So yeah, they'll get like a little, once they get the, this pepper's got me choking because they're hot. And in the meantime, I'm going to take these gloves off because I don't need them right now. I'm going to pour me a glass of Sprite. Because I'm telling you, them peppers will choke you. They're hot. Okay, we're going to turn this down. It's up to a boil. Turn it down to simmer. And we're going to start our timer. Five minutes. I can't believe that I've actually made Carolina Reaper jelly. I made Trinidad Scorpion jelly. And they still choke. Well, this jalapeno choked you too. Of course, they're not as hot. They're not supposed to be as hot. But the Carolina Reaper jelly, I don't really do anything with that because it's very hot. I know some people like it, but not very many like it that hot. So, it was just an experiment that I did. And I did raise the peppers. That was fun. And the Trinidad Scorpion peppers, they're also hot. Very hot. Okay, I'm going to use this time to start getting the jars out. Be very careful when if you do your jars in the canner, because they're going to be full of hot water. So just gradually pour the water out. Don't do it real fast, or you can splash that water on you and burn yourself. Just two. I'm making sure my video is still playing. It is. I think this will make about 5 half pints. It may make 6 if it does, because I've only got 5 jars here, but if it Tell you what, I've got a clean jar right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and dip it down in that water. Just in case. It's better to have it, you know, be prepared, not be prepared. So let's just dip it down in that water real good. Sanitize it, sterilize it. Sterilize it. There we go. Okay. We got just a couple minutes left on the peppers. We keep our water down. I might have to put a little bit more water in that canner. You want your water to be about 1 inch over top of your jars. And we have 1 minute left before we start ladling the peppers into the jars. And I have to get my funnel here. I'm gonna put some hot water in the bowl for the lids. Like I said, I do believe that it helps them to seal better. Some people don't do that. They say it's not necessary, but I like to do it. I got my magnet here. Okay. Okay. So we're going to ladle. Keep forgetting to put something over there. We might get four half pints. I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay. Actually, this type of spoon will be better. It's got the holes in it and it kind of drains it. Because you want to put your juice in there last. Because you're going to put it back on the eye and let it get back up to rolling boil. I keep looking because I want to make sure that my camera's not shutting off. It's done that yesterday and all day today, earlier this morning when I was trying to do another video. I think we're only going to get 3. But hey, at least my peppers aren't going to waste. Because when your peppers boil down, of course, anything cooked is going to be a lot less. It'll be a lot smaller, more condensed. To want to. more, I think this recipe called for more peppers, but I used what I had, which, that's fine. You know, you're just going to have brine left over. And if you do, you can save that brine in the refrigerator. Okay, put your brine back on the eye here. Turn it back on high. Turn it back on high. And then you're going to, once it gets to the rolling boil, you will add it to you'll ladle it into your jars. So I got 3. I had high hopes. I thought we'd have 6. But that's okay, because in another week or 2 there'll be just that many more out there again. So I can make that much more. And even like a half pint, I think a half pint of Cowboy Candy will last a person a while, because you don't use that much. People use it to cook with too. Yeah. Okay, this is starting to boil again already because it's still really hot. Okay, we'll turn that eye off. Bring our brine back over here, and with a ladle here, we're going to ladle it into our jars. And like I said, if I have brine left over, I always save it. Especially the way prices are going up on vinegar and sugar. Oh, sugar, definitely sugar, because this calls for 6 cups of sugar. So I always save my brine for the next batch, and you can put it in a quart jar and save it in your refrigerator. Okay, you want to fill this up to 1/4 of an inch headspace. Okay, there's those, and we're going to get us a paper towel, and we're going to wipe off the tops of our jars, the rims of our tops of the jars, the rim and also the outside, so we don't have any sticky on the outside. That would prevent the lids from sealing or the rings from getting stuck. You don't want your rings to get stuck on there and have a problem with trying to get your rings off. Okay, so we're gonna wipe it really carefully. Be careful because it's hot. I have a habit of grabbing hold of hot stuff. I need to break that habit so I don't burn my little fingers. Okay. Okay. Now, got our magnet. Let's go ahead and get our lids. too many lids at a time. It's very strong. Overachiever. Magnet. All right. And we're going to put our rings on. Finger tight. Okay. And into the canner. We're going to process them for 10 minutes. So our lids will seal. Have about an inch of water on over the top, like I said. I'll turn my timer on. Okay, so we'll let that process for 10 minutes. And we'll be right back. Okay, so the canning process is done. 10 minutes, so we're getting ready to get the jars out. Slowly get them out. And set them on a clean, dry cloth. Be careful, everything's really hot. So I ended up with 3. Okay, so here's our finished product for Cowboy Candy. Finally got a video made. Thank y'all for tuning into my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.